And here we go. What's happening, YouTube? What's going on to my Philadelphia Eagles family? Shout out to the NFC East, you Cowboys, Giants, and also Washington Commander fans. All are welcome here. This is a Eagles channel, but yet we are not an Eagles safe space. This is your boy, Eagles Drew, the Eagles apologist, coming in to give you an update on our Philadelphia Eagles. Today, I believe training camp ended on a positive note. We did have a couple of, minor injury scares. I think Quinyon went off the field. He went off the field with a minor injury. It was just left on the sideline. Nothing too much to worry about. Seems like he's okay. And for me and a lot of us, that's the big thing. We want these guys to get through training camp healthy. We want everybody to be healthy. No injuries. Unfortunately, teams don't practice like they used to back in the day. Teams used to do 2-a-days. So really out there grinding it. And so now we see a lot of soft tissue injuries. Look at Makai Lemon. He's been struggling with hamstring issues. Him and Schmitty, been struggling with that. So, but training camp has been going really well. I wanted to bring out a point today, something that Vic Fangio had pointed out, and he spoke about Jalen Hurts. Vic doesn't talk a lot. When he speaks, he's very matter of fact, to the point. And I believe, he took time out to speak about Jalen. He talked about how fast Jalen looks, how good Jalen looks in this new system. And he did reference, Jalen having different coordinators, working under the same system, but different coordinators learning different things. But I find it very encouraging that a potential Hall of Fame, veteran defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio, who, if there's anybody that's getting a glance at the offense and what it brings to the table, it would be him. And for him to give Jalen kudos, I think is tremendous. Especially with him not having his full arsenal of weapons available to him. So he's been doing this with Darius Cooper, who was having a tremendous camp, and Dontarian Wicks. I'm excited to see what this offense is going to be like. I truly am. I know Makai Lemon is not there and people are a little bit down on the kid. Let's not be, look, if you are, I get it. But I think that once this kid gets in and gets himself acclimated, I think that he can be a surprise, a definite weapon that some defenses, may not see coming. But I love the depth of our wide receivers. I think it's great. And I think those of you who are saying, he's not going to replace AJ. I don't know if you understand, like, the Eagles are not trying to replace A.J. Brown. We're not trying to replace A.J. Brown. What we're trying to do is establish a new offense. We're trying to establish a new identity on the offense, something that's sustainable and something that's going to, moving forward, that can help, Jalen grow and be the best quarterback that he can be. Especially if we're going to invest a lot of money in him coming up. So, yeah, I'm really excited about what's happening with the offense. The defense is pretty much legit. I'm not worried about that. But I love the fact that the Eagles offense, learning under Mannion, and that we're playing against a top 5 defense in the league. You know what I mean? We're playing against Quinyon, and we're playing against, Reek and, Cooper. Makuba's having a good camp. I like the vibes right now coming from the Philadelphia Eagles as we move forward in this new era of offense, in this new era of Jalen Hurts, in this new vision that, I think is going to be really exciting. And I believe that the Eagles really kind of extended themselves even more, especially if things work out. Of course, there's always that if, but and when you look at the DNA that's permeating through this team from top to bottom, this team has championship DNA. I mean, whether you like it or not, most of the veterans on this team are Super Bowl champions. Some of them are multiple Super Bowl champions. Some of them have been to Super Bowls, NFC championships. So, the leadership on this team is tremendous. For these young guys to glean from, yes, Lane Johnson, this most likely will be his last year. Lane Johnson is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. And when you have a locker room that's full of guys like that, Mailata, Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Jalen, Barkley, Schmitty, just it's tremendous. And I also wanted to talk about what I've been seeing and hearing around the NFC East, with Giants fans and Commanders fans and Dallas fans. Let me just say, if you're sitting back and you're expecting the demise of the Philadelphia Eagles, and you think that, we've fallen back a few pegs, and that here's your chance to sneak up on us and trounce and take advantage, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken and misinformed. And I'm here to let you know that this team, when you look at it top to bottom, is still one of the most talented rosters in the NFL, let alone the NFC East. That's what you're dealing with. A.J. Brown is gone, we have a chance. No. We still have the most talented team. We still have a championship DNA that's permeating again throughout the locker room, from the top of the front office all the way down to the water boy. That's what the Eagles are working with. That's what the Eagles are doing. The vision and the standard for the Eagles is nothing less than Super Bowl. See, I hear some of you guys in this old playoffs, won the division. That's like the lower tier for us. It's all about championships. It's all about Super Bowls in Philadelphia. And I was talking to Leo from the Bird section last night, and listen, tonight is we're going to be at the Bird section tonight. Come through. All you members, swing through. You already know what it's going to be. Come on out. If you're not an Eagles fan, you're welcome. Giants fans, Commanders fans, Dallas fan, come through. We have Theo, who is a Vikings fan. I've had one of my buddies who's a Rams fan come through. Listen, come on through. Come fellowship with us. Talk your talk. Bring the heat. But just know, just know, if you bring in heat, you're going to get some heat back. So, just temper yourself, come in politely, it's all good. But if you want that smoke, we definitely got it for you, But yeah, come through, man. It's all fun. This is our members call-in show where the members get to come in and jump up and talk their talk and, ask their questions. And it's a lot of fun. It really is. So come through. But I just wanted to, touch base on that. And that, the Eagles are still the cream of the crop in this division. And I know some of you guys don't like that. I know that there's a few of you guys, or a lot of you guys, that really don't care for Eagles Drew, the Eagles apologist. And see, I'm the Eagles apologist. If you don't know what an apologist is, an apologist is someone that defends. Like they have Christian apologists. They defend the gospel. You know what I mean? They defend the gospel of Jesus Christ. So when someone comes, and says something, then an apologist will raise his hand and say, well, not so. Here's what the scripture says. This is what history says. So guess what? I'm an Eagles apologist. So when I hear foolishness, I jump in and say, not so. This is what the real deal is. That's who I am. And I just want to let you guys know the division has gotten better. It really has. Dallas has improved. I like the moves that they've made. I've been saying this all off season, but some people just have, they're so stuck on just, hearing it from me. You don't like hearing it from me. And I get that. And as I was talking to Leo last night, we reminisced a bit. And I remember back in the 90s, before the Eagles had won any Super Bowls, and the Dallas Cowboys were on this historical run, winning championships, historical teams. And you know something? I have family members that are Dallas Cowboys and a lot of friends, and they were giving me hell. Yeah, I remember the ring pop memes. At the bottom they would show everybody's Super Bowl trophies and 0 for the Eagles. The Campbell soup memes. You know what? Your buddy Drew just had to take it, man. I took it. I mean, what can you do with the truth? What can you do with facts? In the 90s, it was all about Dallas. Historical, legendary. Yes. But guess what now? Guess who has the gun? Oh yeah, the rabbit has the gun now. And see, the same energy that you guys gave in the 90s, it's coming back. Ooh, I like the way that's, yeah, that smells good. Just dominance, Super Bowl winning. And then the arrogance. TP Way was like, how can you guys be so arrogant? You know why we're so arrogant? Because we win. We've been carrying this division for the last 30 years. How can you say that? Because the Cowboys only have 4 playoff wins in the last 40 years, with Dak only responsible for 2 of those. The Giants won 2 Super Bowls, but you've been so inconsistent, up and down, mostly down because of us, because we've had our foot on your necks, mostly down, and Washington, oh God, y'all just, oof, nasty. You done change your name, you done change your logo, it's a disaster. The Philadelphia Eagles have been the most consistent thing in the NFC East. 3 Super Bowls in the last 10 years, winning 2. Yeah, that's been us. Taking over divisions. The last team to win back-to-back division titles was us. And then the last time prior to that, which was a long time, was back in the early, the 20s, 2000s? And guess who that was? It was us. You forgot that we had Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb? You forgot about that? So listen, Dallas fans, the rabbit has the gun now. And I'm pointing it at you. And I'm just returning the same energy, the same arrogance, the same pride that you guys gave to us back in that time. And it was cool. We had to take it. Guess what? You have to take it now. That's why some of you get mad. That's why we had a Dallas Cowboy fan on another content creator's page who I won't name his name, but brought me up and was talking about Eagles true. Oh, can't stand me. But you know what, in the words of T.O., I love me some me. I love being the Eagles fan. And you know what? I'm going to continue to be this way as long as we're good. As long as we're in this position, which is going to be for a while. We ain't going nowhere, folks. We're still the cream of the crop in this division. And I expect I expect the Philadelphia Eagles to win this division again, at least by 3 or 4 games. Yeah, I said that. 3 or 4 games. So I apologize for the first video I put out. The comments were disabled. I don't know why. You know, I'm new at this. I probably did something, you know, that I wasn't supposed to do. So I'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. So you can make your comments and tell me how delusional I am and how weird or whatever, you know, verbiage you want to use to describe me. It's all good because I understand. I've been there before. I was on the other side. Yeah, I was on the other side where it sucked, where you suck right now. The division, you know, yeah, you've improved, but have you caught the Eagles yet? Just ask yourself. I don't think so. I don't think so. So before I go, you know, we have a first preseason game on Saturday. I believe we play the Baltimore Ravens. I'm really excited about that. I'll most likely do another video prior to that, just touching some bases on different players and what I would like to see. When I watch a preseason game, you know, I don't really look at, I watch the game, but I look at individual players. You know, during the game, you know, I'll be looking at Willie Lampkin. I'll be looking at Micah Morris. You know, I want to see how, you know, those two guys, they're on my radar. I want to see how they look. I've been hearing some really good things about Lampkin and Morris, you know, how well they've been playing. I think it's important, especially with us knowing that next year we're losing Lane, that we're going to need some linebacker depth. That's going to be probably the focus in next year's draft and free agency. So I'm curious to see these guys and what the length, what the depth is going to look like. You know, in case someone like a Lane or a Landon goes down. You know, we know we have Fred Johnson, but you know, we need more. So, you know, that's just a couple of guys. I hope we get Eli Stowers in here. You know, get him some reps. Not sure about Mekhi, but I don't want to rush Mekhi back, man. Let that kid just come back. You know, I like what Jalen was saying about him today in the presser. So, yeah, I think that the Eagles are making great progress, and you're not hearing any Eagles fans, at least not me, making the making this you know, these statements like, oh, if we could just get middle of the pack, you know, we'll be right back where we were. And you know, no, listen, we're good. We're good. As bad as our offensive line was last year, as goofy as our offensive coordinator was, we still managed to be the #1 team in the red zone, which speaks volumes, right? So that's how you're 11-6 when you're #1 in the red zone and you're like, you know, middle of the pack, or, you know, below, like in the 20s with your offense. It's about scoring touchdowns. You know, so you can sit here and say, oh man, I got a top 5 offense, but you're middle of the pack in the red zone. So they kind of even out. So you're closer to us than what you think you are with all the talent that you have. Yeah, you're top 5 in offense, total yards, but you're 18, middle of the pack. So guess what? That kind of brings you down to where you're closer to us than what you think you are. And us being #1 in the red zone kind of elevates us just a little bit. So the offenses that, you know, aren't as bad or, you know, separated as you think they are. You know, in your delusional mind, you think that, you know, we're top 5, and then, you know, we just get a middle of the pack defense, you know, Super Bowl. And Game Time Brian, I heard you. You said that you feel like you are about 2 players away from being a Super Bowl contending team on your defense. My God. Woo. Okay. Game time. I heard it, buddy. You said that. You said you feel like you and the Cowboys, you feel like you're about 2 players away on that defense from being a Super Bowl contending team. So go get Crosby, go get whomever you want. Yeah, because if Kobe Durant is still your #1 receiver, and if you're playing a safety that's out of position and overshown at the mic, you're in trouble. Yeah, and I've been saying this. Dallas might have the worst defense in the division. You just might. I'm not saying you do, but you just might. With all the changes that you've made, I think Washington's defense could be better than yours. And the Giants defense is good. They have a good defense. Their corners are sus, but so is Dallas. Actually, all the teams in this division, your defense, your corners are suspect. They're suspect, except for the Eagles. We do have a top 5, potentially top 3 defense in this division in the NFL. So, well, that'll do it for me. I just wanted to come on and just share a little bit, talk about the Eagles. I wanted to go on a little bit more, but I don't want to drag this out too much longer. I will be back with some more content. Just working on some things. Oh, one other thing. This Sunday at 5:30, I will be on the Next Level Sports Lounge. Me and Warren from the Eagles Collective. If you have not checked out Warren and the Eagles Collective, please do. Please go like and subscribe. Go to the the Next Level Sports Lounge. Lloyd McAfee. Definitely go check him out. I do go on there and spend some time with those guys. And chop it up. Troll a little bit, talk a little football. Again tonight, come through the Bird section. Come and fellowship with us. I'll be there. Warren should be there. We may have King DV. If you haven't checked out King DV, please go check him out. Another great Eagles content creator. I'm trying to think who else. Bird Gang. Yeah, Bird Gang is another one, man. Angry Cowboy fan. Yeah, man. I'm blessed to be a part of a growing community. With some good guys. Yeah, some of them are Eagles and Washington fans. Momo rants, go check him out. Momo is different. He's different. He's different. He's doing some things that are different. He has a niche. If you like it, go check him out. Like and subscribe. And also don't forget to come like and subscribe. Eagles Drew. The Eagles apologist. That's me. I'm grateful I have over 100 subscribers. Trying to get to 500. That's the next goal, and I need you to do it. Can't do it without you. So I appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. Okay, Miss Rapunzel. I love you. You are the love of my life, and I appreciate you and for really giving me the space, because being a husband and a father and, it's a lot, and she gives me that grace. So I appreciate that, and before I go too, I'm always going to touch on this because I think it's very important. Mental health is very important. And see, I sound like a broken record. Good, because I want it to sink in. I want it to permeate and get inside people's heads. If you're struggling with mental health, you don't have to struggle alone. You can reach out to me, shoot me a message, and let me know you're struggling. I'm a medical professional. I have access. I have, sources that I can point you to. No matter where you are, I can try and reach you where you are. It's very important, especially for minorities, especially for African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics. I'm glad that our communities are now just taking mental health serious and going to therapy and doing things that we need to do to make sure that our mind and our hearts are right. And, we don't want nothing to happen to you. I talk smack and, do what I do, but it's just football. It's not life. Okay. And, when we're doing life, I want you here. Your family needs you here. I need you here. I need you here to interact with me, so yeah, that's all I got for you. Mental health is important. Get it. If you need help, there's help out there for you. There's support. This is your guy, Eagles Drew, the apologist, signing out. And yes, go Birds.